Yes, that's the way I'm heading, into the dark leaden and water-soaked clouds by the looks of that. The white water bit is Stoke Lock, but this is Stoke Bardolph, and I'm heading up there purely to collect some material, some wood chips from a pile that is somewhere in Stoke Wood, just up there. And I want it because the weather tomorrow might not be so conducive as today, and today's a case of dodging the showers, so it's now or never to collect the material I want. And the hoped for species that I'm after in the wood chip pile is a false scorpion, a pseudoscorpion. It's been recorded once, but hopefully it may well be recorded here for a second time. But even if I don't find the said species, which is Rhonchus lubricus, if I remember right, I should find a few other little bits. But what a sky that is! That's quite the veritable sort of vista. Beautifully lit. I think we'll take a still image of that, and hopefully it will stay dry. There's some blue sky coming. You know what I'm like with water. Well, I'm in the area where I want to be now. That is Stoke Lock up there, and the weir. It's quite picturesque. Access to the far side of the River Trent here is not so easy. There's a fair amount of walking involved. One time I'm going to do it and have a walk in amongst the trees there. But for now, I'm going to have a quick walk around Stoke Woods, which is just at the back of me. And I've just passed one fresh pile of wood chips. I say fresh, it's been there at least a year. And then we'll collect a sample and make its way back to the car. The sun comes out and it's beautifully warm. And this is Stoke Lock with the higher part of the Trent just behind it, and looking up to Netherfield just round the corner. Looks very scenic. And it is now an absolutely stonker of a day. The drive from Mansfield, or from Market Warsop rather, down to this part of the Trent was mostly carried out in heavy rain. Thankfully it started to ease off and stop as I got here, and apart from a bit of a shower just walking up from the opening scene, it's now beautiful. One or two red admirals about. There's one just on a budlier knocking around here. They are everywhere at the moment. Quite like to run a moth trap from here. But it's a glorious August the 30th. Right, not sure where to get this sample from. This might be better where it's not been disturbed. think that'll do. Well, it's just beautiful. I never dreamt it'd turn out like this. Chucking it down with rain earlier on. And while I've been here, as I mentioned, but now there's just been a band of showers that's gone over. So I've just paused for a minute. It's a long time since I've sat at the side of the Trent. For a big river, the Trent's nice in parts. It's nicer down there, just a bit where I've been, but once you get going sort of north from Stoke Wood, it tends to, at least once it gets past Hoveringham and Bleasby, it flattens out. The floodplain becomes wider and more expansive, certainly as you get up towards Newark. But it's lovely. Not found anything, but a few bits and bobs. So now it's time to make steady tracks back home, and I'll probably sort through that sample tomorrow morning. Don't usually do samples of leaf litter or wood chips or anything during the summer, so it'll be different, but I thought I might as well have a go in what's left of the summer. So it's back home and sort through the sample, see if Ronchus is there. Well, time to go through the sample that we collected yesterday for wood chips. Unfortunately, it seems quite damp, this, and I'm not hopeful. We'll have an idea within the first few handfuls just whether this may well be profitable, but if we don't get Ronchus lubricus in this, which is the false scorpion that I'm really after, purely because I've never seen a live specimen. I was given a sample of false scorpions from a similar wood chip pile at Stoke Wood a couple of years ago. Most of them turned out to be Cephalochurnes scorpioides, but one much larger one was in fact Ronchus lubricus. No good to me because it's dead. So I would like to see a live specimen. It should be fairly widespread around Nottinghamshire, has been found at a few other localities. Hopefully one is in this. So we'll see. Well, here's the first handful. I would prefer it a little bit drier, but due to the variances of the British weather, we're stuck with damper material. It's just a case of spreading out the sample so that there's quite a lot of blank spaces. They're important, those blank spaces. Important because they help you to see things that move across them. There isn't a deal in this first sample. And as regarding samples, especially wood chip, but also leaf litter as well, if you keep your sample overnight or for a couple of nights before sorting through it, quite often any false scorpions are usually in that top layer. Quite often it turns out that any false scorpions in a sample are in the first half dozen to 10 handfuls of material, but there is nothing in here of any interest. So Handful after handful it is. Well, as you can see, we've struck gold. And yet I'd gone quite a way down the carrier bag, and I was beginning to become a bit despondent because there's virtually no invertebrate life in this sample. And I was convinced that it was perhaps too wet. But then all of a sudden a tiny bit of movement in amongst the wood chip, and there's this false scorpion, and I have a feeling that this is Lamprocurnes nodosus. I need to examine it more closely and take some photographs. And if it is Lamprocurnes nodosus, it's a new 1 kilometre grid square for the species in Nottinghamshire. False scorpions are grossly under-recorded. Very few people do them. And yet the great things to look for, these are the kind of the things that you can do with the kids over winter. Get the kids involved. Collect a carrier bag full of leaf litter or manure or wood chips like this or moss. And you can sort through this on the table on a white tray at any time during the winter months. There's always something to keep the entomologist active and interested throughout the year. As you can see against my grubby forefinger there, they're not large. And this is another one. This is a second specimen found getting towards near the bottom of the carrier bag. And I think this is the same species. I think it's Lamprocurnes nodosus again. And the thing with these is I struggle to try and keep this one in the centre of the screen, is that they are very interactive. It's easier if I move the tray, I've just decided. I just love the way these move. Brilliant little things. Off it goes. And this species, like most false scorpions, at least in Nottinghamshire, but throughout the UK, it's probably said, are fairly widespread. Old straw is a great medium to sort through. In whatever medium you do try and sort, get the medium where it's slightly damp or dry, the dry side of damp. And we have another one. This is the fourth. I have found another one but not filmed it, and it looks virtually the same to this one, and I think this one is Sulaphochurnes scorpioides or Sulaphochurnes, depending how you say it. And here we have two more right at the very end, right at the bottom of the carrier bag. These two came out of the same handful. So very, very successful. Not successful enough to find Rhonchus lubricus, which is a species which still eludes me, but one day we'll get it. The joys of looking for false scorpions.